Want to hear the juiciest, jaw-dropping, and downright scandalous stories that have rocked the NBA? Brace yourself as we dive into a world where scandals dance with fame, tarnishing images, and unraveling legacies faster than a Steph Curry three-pointer. From alleged missteps to headline-grabbing controversies, we're spilling the tea on the intriguing world that is NBA scandals. We begin with a sad scandal that rocked the NBA world. The tragic tale of Len Bias. An extraordinary talent hailed as a once-in-a-lifetime gem was set to conquer the NBA world. The Boston Celtics couldn't believe their luck when they drafted him as the second pick in the 1986 NBA draft, hoping he would carry them into a new era post-Larry Bird. But fate had other plans.
The Boston Celtics select Len Bias of the University of Maryland.
In a heart-wrenching twist, just 48 hours after joining the Celtics, the young star's journey came to a devastating end. Len Bias was lost to this world, a victim of cardiac arrhythmia triggered by a cocaine overdose. It left everyone in the sports community in shock, grieving the loss of what could have been. In the wake of this tragedy, the NBA knew it had to take action. They launched a drug awareness program specifically for young players, ensuring that they had the knowledge and support to make healthy choices, steering clear of dangerous substances. Now prepare yourself for another unforgettable moment in NBA history, a shocking sportsmanship incident, or lack thereof, that turned an entire arena into a coliseum full of gladiators. The NBA witnessed one of the worst fights in its history when a hard foul by Ron Artest onto Ben Wallace turned into utter bedlam chaos at the Palace of Auburn Hills. The fans expressed their own disapproval, and one fan in particular repeatedly threw plastic cups at Artest, making Artest lose his cool and attack the fan. What happened next was a legitimate breakdown in security, a total meltdown in the arena, which led to a full-on fight at the Palace of Auburn Hills. This unforgettable incident led to a crackdown on security, not only in the NBA, but in other professional sports, concerts, and expos. It served as a crucial reminder that violence has no place in sports or entertainment. Switching gears from that historic incident, let's now dive into the twists and turns of the 2006 NBA Finals. The Dallas Mavericks were leading 2-0 against the Miami Heat in a best-of-7 series in the 2006 NBA Finals. They were dominating in Game 3 and poised for another victory. However, the tide of the game shifted unexpectedly, and suspicions arose when the referees' decisions started to seem to favor the Heat. The truth eventually came out, and the situation came to light when disgraced referee Tom Donaghy, entangled in a scandal, confessed to match fixing. He was found guilty, tainting the integrity of the game and leaving fans in shock. This shocking revelation highlighted the importance of upholding fairness and honesty in sports, and thankfully it led to significant changes in the NBA's referee management and monitoring processes to prevent such things like this from ever happening again. Moving on to the wild story behind Michael Jordan's gambling saga. Despite being a basketball legend, Jordan had a weakness for gambling that was no secret.
It was unfair that I was being considered a criminal for doing something that is not illegal. Gambling is legal, and betting is legal.
Reports about his gambling issues started to swirl around, and the media was all over it, pressuring the NBA to act. But guess what? The NBA just didn't budge. Some say it was all a clever PR stunt. Jordan was the hottest athlete in the world, and the NBA's popularity was skyrocketing globally. Therefore, investigating in on their golden boy and possibly needing to suspend him would just turn into a PR nightmare, tarnishing Jordan's perfect image and the NBA's rising reputation. Now here's where the conspiracy kicks in. Some people say David Stern had a secret chat with Jordan. They made a deal. The deal was to take a break while the stories died down, so sort of an unofficial suspension, which led to Jordan's first retirement. Whether you believe the conspiracy or not, one thing is for sure. The tale of Michael Jordan's gambling and the NBA's strategic move is one for the books. Do you love basketball scandals and juicy stories? Hit that like button and subscribe to our channel to stay tuned for more captivating content like this. Now let's talk about another gambling scandal that rocked the NBA. The previously mentioned Tom Donaghy, the former basketball referee, had a pretty controversial run from 1994 to 2007. But things got even more messy when he let his gambling habits get out of control.
And did betting on the NBA give you a higher high than betting on other sports?
I think it gave me a higher high because I was able to predict the outcome of the game.
The FBI had their eyes glued to him, and he had no choice but to resign while they investigated. While he was working for the league as a referee, he made bets on NBA games and tried to rig them. For starters, that's a total breach of trust and integrity right there. And to make matters worse, Donaghy claimed that the NBA was involved in some shady stuff too, like fixing games, specifically that infamous 0-2 final between the Kings and the Lakers. Fans of the Kings will never forget that game, and they're still crying foul over it today. In the end, Donaghy couldn't escape the consequences. Good. He pleaded guilty to conspiracy charges, and it was a real low point for sports fans everywhere. Just imagine being a diehard fan cheering for your team, only to find out that the games might have been rigged by someone within the league itself. That's gotta be a terrible feeling for a sports fan. And that brings us to the worst one so far, if not one of the worst in history. The Donald Sterling scandal. You see, the 2014 NBA playoffs should have been a time of excitement for the LA Clippers, but their owner had a dark secret. This clearly racist man was caught making offensive remarks about black people by his mistress, V. Stiviano, who herself was of African American and Mexican descent. It all started when Stiviano posted a picture with Magic Johnson on her social media, which infuriated the owner. He was recorded saying she shouldn't walk with or post pictures with black people or even bring them to his games.
Saying in your lousy Instagrams, you don't have to have yourself with walking with black people. You don't have to. If you want to, do it.
Can you believe that? Anyways, the incident caused a nationwide uproar for good reason, and NBA players united against the owner's comments by wearing their jerseys inside out in protest. The NBA just had no choice and took action. They banned him from the league for life and slapped him with a hefty $2.5 million fine. He was also forced to sell the team, of course, for a whopping $2 billion to Stephen Ballmer, the former head of Microsoft. The details of this settlement were kept under wraps, but the message was loud and clear. Racism has no place in sports, and your actions have consequences. From fights on the court to gambling controversies and even racist remarks, the NBA has seen its fair share of scandals. But through it all, the league learns and evolves, striving for fairness, integrity, and to put on a good show at the highest level of basketball. If you enjoyed this video, please hit that like button and subscribe to the channel for more juicy content like this. Peace out, y'all.